Hello, hello, hello. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Diva is in the building. Who is in the building with Diva? Can you hear me? Hello. Somebody say something. I'm trying to figure this out. Oh my god, I haven't done this in so long. What is this? Oh, okay. Hey! What's up, June? June, what's up, mama? What's up, Latrice? Hey, baby, how are you? Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, you're a trauma chaser. How about that? Get the fuck out of here. Who's that? Who's that? Who else is there? Les Smith, what's up, lady? Purple, purple. What's up, Mama Bear? How are you? What's going on, ladies in the building? Let me see if I can block this jerk off too. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So, guys, the fucking, you know. All right. So, I went through the book. I read the book. I read half the book and listened to the other half. Um, that was a very, 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 very deep book. That poor girl. Like I said, her question was, who's watching Shorty? My answer was, nobody and everybody, all at the same time. That poor baby went through a lot. From the age of 12 all the way up until 2019. And when he was finally incarcerated, was the last time she spoke to him. She was apparently putting money on his books while he was in jail. This was a love story. This was, I think, if Aaliyah was still alive and all this went down, I think she probably would have finally wrote a book herself and told her truth. And I think it would have been a book kind of like Reshona's. Who's watching Shorty? Nobody and everybody. Nobody and everybody. Because everybody was watching her go on. Hiding here, hiding there. Everybody seen her everywhere. But nobody was looking out for her. Everybody was shh, quiet, on a hush, whispering. Whisper, 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 whisper. Was all around her. All around him. I think Aaliyah and Reshona, which, by the way, both of those girls were 12 when they met R. Kelly. Both of those girls were being groomed by R. Kelly at that age. And according to witnesses with Aaliyah, she was about 13 or 14 years old when people saw him giving her oral sex on a tour bus. And she was either 13 or 14. I don't remember what was said in the court proceedings. I don't remember which exact birth, year of birth, age it was. And then you have Reshona, who was also 12 years old and didn't have sex with R. Kelly until she was 15, 14, right? Now, there's always the argument of him being a pedophile and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Yes, he is. Because he sought out these little girls and they were at the age of 12. 12. They both had their little bodies coming out at this age. They weren't pre-pubescent, but they were coming out. They were still babies, little girls. Now you see how Yara Dara, what's up, mamita? ¿Cómo estás, mi amor? How are you, my love? Yeah, go ahead, baby. Do your thing. I'm glad you're listening. Now, the both of them were, like I said, little girls. Their bodies are coming out. Their hormones are running rapid as they're growing into puberty stages, right? So now I think Reshona Landfair's story is a love story, and Aaliyah's story was a love story, because I do believe that R. Kelly did love these two little girls very, very, very much. I believe that. I believe it. He loved those two girls and still loves those two girls very, very much. To the point where I actually think that he loves those two little girls more than he did his wife. He's that sick that his mental, his physical, his soul was in love with these little girls, because that's how he felt in his mind, in his heart, in his soul, that these two little girls were sexy women to him. They were beautiful. They were precious gems. They were virgins. They were sweet. They were innocent. And that is just sick. That man was sick. Now, he actually, the reason why I feel like that is because he left Aaliyah with publishing and paid off the parents and doesn't speak about her, doesn't disrespect her in any way, doesn't want anybody to disrespect her or talk about her in any way, right? And I think the same thing goes for Reshona, because he actually made a comment about her book coming out and stated that, I'm not going to say verbatim, but he pretty much said, good luck on your book. I wish her much success with this book. I hope she makes a lot of money. I hope she gets, the recognition and the healing that she deserves. And I believe, like I said, those two little girls were his pride and joy. And that's sick to fucking say. But to my observation, reading this book and then thinking about Aaliyah as well, he groomed those girls. He groomed them little by little to where they felt like, oh my God, I've never had this feeling before coming from any person, let alone be Rkelly, a famous person who could have any woman he wants in this world. And instead, he's choosing me. And here I am in a stage in my life where my hormones are raging. My spider senses are tingling throughout my body. So when this man speaks to me, I'm going to quiver at my knees. Am I right, ladies? Can anybody agree with me? Like, what do you think about what I just said? I think he was in love with these two little girls. I don't think he was ever in love with his wife. Not even after having children. Why? Because he was still messing with that little girl. And I think if Aaliyah hadn't died, he would have still tried to get his way back to her. I'm right? That's crazy, Yada. Like, you look at everything and you see all the stories, you listen to the testimonies, you go back, you see interviews, you listen to the things he says about the one girl, which is Aaliyah, and then you listen to what he denies, which is the girl in the video, and then he hid her from the world. Like, she had to be homeschooled. Like, what? She was hidden in the fucking garage or in the closet. It's like, what? She was hidden on tour bus. The trial's going on, and she's sitting on the tour bus waiting for him to get off trial. Waiting for the court to close so that she could go home and then serve him. And like she said, at a point, it wasn't like, she didn't feel like she was being abused. She just felt like she developed a relationship with him, even though he was married, and even though he had children. She was the mistress, and she knew that she was the mistress. But to him, that was his angel. Like, he don't have to worry about her fighting him off. That's his angel, willing to do anything for him. And I think Aaliyah was the same. Even though she probably opened up to Dame Dash about her experience with Rkelly, and I think that might have been the only person she shared her experience with. I don't even know if she even shared her experience with her mother. Like, she probably did. Who knows? Who knows? Lordship, what's up, Papi? How are you, baby? Long time no see, brother. What's hood? So, in this book, she talks about how her aunt, you know, uh, was friends with her at that young age. So, here you have a 20-something-year-old woman being friends with her niece, who's a preteen, and she's having conversations with her about grown up experiences, things that she's gone through. Now, me being an aunt, my niece would be 12, and I would not be having conversations with my 12-year-old niece about my personal relationships. About my personal relationships. Um, I would probably, if I was getting ready to go out to a club and I'm doing my makeup, I would probably show her how to do the makeup, you know. Um, Probably give her advice and talk to her about how it's dangerous, you know, and you got to be careful. Always go out in a group, you know. Let people know where you are if you split up in the club. You know, don't ever leave your friends. If you go in as a group, you leave as a group. You know, like things like that, maybe, you know. Never leave your drink alone. You know, stuff like that. I don't see myself having conversations like, oh, if the dude comes up to you in the bar and he's like, hey princess, how you doing? Da 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 da, and then you're like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden you go and you leave with him and you have a one night fling and you're talking about your fling and how it went and the sex was good or the sex was garbage. Like, no, we're not having those conversations. We're not doing that. Right. Lacing her with game. You know, like, that's a baby. We're not doing that. Now, like I said, I'd probably tell her about my makeup and, you know, maybe the dangers of going out. You know, so always be careful. So when you get old enough to do these things, be careful. That's about it. You know, let her know about how there are creeps. You know, I wouldn't be talking to her about my relationships and shit. And then she was very jealous of her aunt's relationship with Rkelly. She was. She explained about how she felt like she was jealous of her when it was actually her being jealous of her aunt. You got to read that book. Like, it's different when you read it than when you listen to it. I'm telling you. So, you, she really loved him too. And she would be angry with him too because she felt after a while she was being used. She was being played with as she got older, getting deeper and deeper into her relationship. Hey, Chanel, what's up, mama? I'm good. I'm good. We're doing good, baby. We good. We good. I'm living life. That's what I'm doing. Living life. Okay? God bless everybody. And so now, like I said, that whole part about her auntie, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was grooming her niece. Like, let's stop the bullshit here. I mean, I'm hearing so many things out here, you know, the lies. the distorted, those people, the liars and the distorted, the Trump supporters, the dick suckers, the pedophile lovers, those people. Yeah. The ones that are out here in this little sector. Yeah. I can't. I went through a few videos. I swear to God, I couldn't even go through an hour. I couldn't do the whole hour. I couldn't do the whole half hour. It was more like 10 minutes and I was off. Yeah, we're not going to say grooming her because that really wasn't grooming her. Like I said, it was just speaking with her niece and giving her advice she shouldn't be giving her at a young age. That's not necessarily grooming her because I don't see that. In her book, she's actually letting everybody know that her aunt was her hero and she didn't even see that. And she blames herself for doing that by being upset with her aunt. Hold on one second. Okay. Somebody wants to say hi, y'all.
Hi, guys.
Say hi to Andy.
Hi. It's been so long. I love saying hi to them.
So we're talking about the Rkelly book, the story that I've read and everything. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Hi. Yada says hi.
What was the last
Lordship
time?
says hi.
When was the last time they heard me?
Oh wow, it's been a while. I haven't been on in a while. It's been a while.
When I was like what?
I don't know, maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, when I was
2 years ago, maybe they
when
heard
I
you.
was 17.
Yeah. Look, Chanel says hello too.
Hi.
Everybody says hi.
I love them, bro. They're so nice.
Oh, Purple came out and said hi.
Hi.
And Les Smith, there goes Les Smith. She said hello.
Hi.
All right. Everybody that's in the chat actually said hello. Hi, guys.
It's also killing me. I need water.
So like I was saying, that wasn't necessarily grooming her. That was just her being a titi and being a little, how would you say, unfiltered. She was like being really unfiltered with her niece. Like I'm like that too with my daughter. Like you could ask her, there was certain things that I would say to her and she was like 14, maybe 13, and she'd be like, Mom.
Yeah, I'd be like, please shut
Cringe, shit like that. And I'd be like, well, I'm telling you how it is, girl. That's
So like
there ain't no como se dice? Ain't no filter and there ain't no sugar coating shit.
You had it for just a second.
There ain't no sugar coating. I'm gonna say flat out how it is. Yeah. That's life. And she would be like, well, okay.
Grooming is entirely different. When you're talking about grooming, it's a process of gaining someone's trust,
right,
and then slowly but surely making things normal to them, whilst also doing that to use them and hurt them in the future.
Right. She didn't do those things. She was just being an auntie with a fucking unfiltered mouth. That's how I saw that.
Yeah, because you talked to me a lot about things when I was younger, especially because...
Now, that's because the reason why she denied it is because it does look bad. But she didn't mean no harm by that. She didn't look at it like that. She was just like, hey, go sit on his lap and, be cutesy with him. Like,
huh?
Yeah, she told her niece, I want you to ask him to be why don't you ask him to be your godfather? Go sit on his lap. and ask him to be your godfather.
Okay.
So at that point, look, some people don't always see that as a bad thing.
That's why I'm like.
So you can't say that that's grooming her. No, that's not.
I could definitely see it. Where it's like some people when you.
That's like, look. Sometimes I used to tell my kids, give that person a hug and a kiss.
Yeah, I used to.
And my kids would be like, no,
I
don't want to. And I'll be like, ugh. But, that's your aunt or your uncle or your cousin. That's how you greet them. No.
No, I don't want
and
to.
I would be like,
no.
And I would be like, well, look, I'm sorry that they just not going to do that. And still to this day, they're like that.
Right. If I don't want to give you a hug,
so it's not all about that, y'all. People are taking that shit out of context.
That's like, one of our older cousins. I forgot.
Yes, you hear my baby? She is grown up. She's going to be 19 next month. What are we talking about? She's already going to start college next year. Actually, shall I say the end of this year? Yeah.
In the
fall. Mm-hmm. Right now, she's doing training so that she can become a vet technician, aide in a veterinarian office,
If I get into the SYUP program, then I'm gonna end up.
Yeah, you'll probably find something in the meantime doing something else, but you can still do the training.
Yeah, I know.
Right, and then get out of whatever you're doing and get a job that way.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that job, then you can leave the job you're at.
That's if they hire me. They don't be hiring people
right.
like me.
Who?
People in general, like from like the older generation, don't like hiring Gen Z, and it's become a big problem. It's terrible.
All right, girl, don't worry about that. You're getting into a profession. You're not just going into jobs. You're trying to get into a profession, so it's different.
But I'm saying
there's gonna be people that are gonna discriminate, especially what's going on with Mr. Trump and his DEI bullshit.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm also.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get somewhere. Don't worry about that, because he's gonna either croak, or he's gonna be impeached, or he's gonna get arrested and dragged out by the marshals of the state. I don't know. Whatever.
He need to go.
Yes, I agree with you, Chanel. She did say that Rkelly was turning her against her own aunt. She was saying that Rkelly was telling her stories to where she would believe it, and then she would say it.
Now that's grooming. Isolation, taking stuff
right,
away,
she did all of that.
Problems.
He did all that to her. She was he even convinced her to convince her parents to accept their relationship.
That's like with
am I right? Am I wrong? Anybody who read the book, she actually said, Rkelly convinced me to convince my parents that we are in a relationship and we love each other and we're not going to give up on each other. And if they try to get him locked up, I'm going to kill myself.
That's like with, you remember Victor, right? You remember Victor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how he would try to isolate me from my friends. And he was talking about, oh, none of your friends,
right, that friend is not good or whatever. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I ended up pushing a bunch of my friends away because of that too.
Yeah. I'm glad that now you're older, you realize you've learned. Me talking about Rkelly has helped you to perk your ears up to what's going on in the world, and then everything else that's going on in the world that you actually are seeing for yourself as well. You've actually had friends you went through with that situation, with being a pedophile and looking for underage girls online and shit.
Yes, dude. Okay.
Like, so
there was I used to have this friend.
Yeah, you gotta read the book, Yada. Anybody right now, you see I have a question in my chat, right? It says, did you buy the book? I want to know if anybody in my group on this channel that are for survivors, has anybody supported her and bought her book? Please do that. Support her. Buy her book. Support her. She deserves that. After everything she's gone through, she deserves that and more. Right, whatever, audio, the book, however you want to buy it, just support her. I think she deserves that.
That was such a like awakening. I didn't.
Why are you telling me no? Don't make me go over there and grab you by your collar, lordship.
Oh my god, when you mentioned Shane, bro.
When Trump releases my taxes.
No, that's true.
Yeah, me too. I read it. I did both. I have the book, and Miss Mo, my love, sent me a copy of the audio. That's my girl.
Oh yeah. I never told you, but Shane got released from the military because of it.
Because of that
The
pedo shit he was doing online. Oh wow.
So I used to have this friend online. I think I was like 16.
And how did you feel about it, Liz Smith? No, I was just saying.
Oh, I was like 16, 17. And he was like, when I met him, he was 19, so it wasn't really much an issue to me. But later on, I found out from one of my other friends that he was actively on like games like Roblox and stuff like that, and he was talking to little kids, specifically people who were like 15, 14, and then 17 and 16, and he had a group chat with them where he was constantly making sexual jokes with them, and then he was talking to this one girl in DMs, and he was talking about, oh, I can't wait for you to be 18, and I can't wait for you to travel to me. I'm gonna spoil you.
Right. See, this is the bullshit. This is where that grooming shit come in.
Yeah, and we found out about that when he was 21. So that means he kept that on for like maybe give or take 4 years, at least when we found out about it. And then we reported him because he was also in the military at the time. And it took a while for him to get released from it, and it was so annoying. But then he ended up getting released for mental health purposes because he was constantly talking about killing himself after it. So he got released for that, and I haven't heard from him since. Like we had a full like Google Docs on him because my friend actually managed to get into his account because he was done with his account, and we got into it and we looked through all his DMs, and he was literally talking to underage people, so sexual, talking about he's gonna give them gifts and stuff like that, and how he wanted to see them naked and stuff like that. Like, whoa, no. I was so pissed when that happened. I think I remember when we confronted him. I think I remember you having to like calm me down because I was yelling to him. I was yelling. Do you not remember that?
Yes, you were yelling at him.
Yeah, I was yelling, and I was very pissed. Because I considered that like as one of my closer friends because I talked to him like every day.
Right. That was very close friends. So, Diva, can we all just get along?
Is that Levi?
Levi, yes, Levi. Levi. Levi, I still love you. Don't worry about it. But your cousin is a prick. At the end of the day, he's a fucking wannabe pedophile. How about that? Let's put it like that. He a wannabe pedophile.
Wait, what? Wait, who's his cousin?
Rkelly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. My bad.
My daughter.
My bad.
That's the infamous Levi. That's the infamous Levi for Kelly. Levi.
Wait, what? Wait, no, what? 4?
Levi for Kelly. That's his channel.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wait, no, wait. Huh? 4?
Yeah, he's for Rkelly.
What the fuck?
That's what his channel means. Right, Levi? Explain to my daughter. Go ahead, write it down. Write it in the chat. What does Levi for Kelly mean?
Oh, you gotta confuse me.
You're gonna have to explain this to my daughter. She about to be 19. She on your ass.
What the hell? No, What the hell? Oh no. No, what the hell?
My daughter's tripping out right now. She's like, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Stop.
Look what he said.
No way. Wait, please let me read this. No, I'm not trying to. Since anyone's opinion or speech, tell the young lady that I respect her opinion. I also empathize with any young lady that has been abused. I have 2 daughters. Ugh. Hold up. You have 2 daughters, but you're actively still like, what the?
Because that's his family.
That don't matter. If someone from my family ended up being a pedophile, you are no longer family to me. Goodbye. 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 What the fuck? No. If you a pedophile, you're not going near my kids. You're not going near anybody else in my family. I'm not. No, you could stay in jail. What the hell are you talking about?
Levi, you in trouble.
I've had friends who came close to being borderline pedophiles. I dropped them. I don't care who you are. If you are family, if you are my friend, if you are a stranger, you are not going near me.
While you're on the line?
Oh hell yeah! You are not going near me or my family. You are not going. No. Because even if you're my family, you are still a danger. That don't matter. That like. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? No. That's scary. That's real scary. That's scary. You don't. That's scary. What do you say? Yes, I always advocate for Robert from a legal perspective. However, I never condone or I'll try to defend him or even decisions.
That's the thing. That's why I could get with Levi. Because he understands that morally what his cousin did was wrong.
And he deserves to be punished for it.
Yes, that's why he's in jail. But he feels like he doesn't need so much time. Like he feels like it's a little bit of injustice. Like maybe if he got 10 years, it would be different.
No.
Instead of him getting 30 years.
Because the thing is, when it comes to most pedophiles or rapists, they barely get time anyways. The most they'll get is like 4 years.
5 years.
And depending on how they act, and depending on how they act in prison, that shit gets reduced and they can literally go outside while in prison sometimes.
Yeah, and it depends on how many victims they have.
Right, that's why it adds up. Because the more people you harm, the more time you get in there.
Right, that's why they did Rkelly the way they did, so they could give him more time. That's why they try to get as many victims as they could to make an example.
Right, because how are you gonna lead a sex trafficking ring almost, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I don't deserve all that time. You hurt numerous people. That's like with Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein had a ring. Rkelly had a concubine.
I know, but he had a ring. My point is, the amount of survivors that came.
Jade.
The amount of the survivors.
She said, at least he cannot again.
The amount of survivors that came out about Jeffrey Epstein.
Right, Yada.
The amount of survivors is why he was going to prison for such a long time.
Right.
And it's ironic because the first victim that came out and he went to prison for it, he was able to literally come out. He was able to come out of prison. He was actively working in and out of prison. Because the person who, what's the word?
Ghislaine Maxwell?
No. Because the first judge who convicted him and he went to prison, they
gave him a sweetheart deal. Yeah, by Jim Acosta.
Right.
He was the attorney general. That's why.
Well,
he was the attorney. No, they can't see us.
I know.
He was the attorney general at the time in Florida. Yes,
him
and Pam Bondi. Him and Pam Bondi were the attorney generals at the time. Or the attorney. What was he?
No, Levi. I see what you're saying. I know you don't condone it, but the thing is, if you're still advocating for him, it's still in a way giving him
accolades.
Right.
Pom poms.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
we're still putting up our pom poms for him.
Right. You still actively want him to come out of jail. That's releasing danger into society. That's the thing.
Right. That's the problem.
That's where I can understand if it's your cousin and you feel it's a certain type of way.
I think now at this age, I don't think he would ever do that again. I think he would still go out with girls that were like 18 though.
That's so weird though.
I think he would change his way and learn his lesson and say, all right, I'm not going to mess with the teeny boppers If I'm gonna have a
Ew.
teenager, she's gonna be 19, 18.
Ew, don't ever say that again.
That's legal age, though.
That's still
But
gross,
that's
though.
legal age. So if he's 35 and she's 18,
Yeah.
it's okay.
But there's still gonna be like
Even though
side
it's
eyes
gonna
about
look
it.
crazy,
Yep.
but
That's
morally, it might look weird, but legally, it's okay. You
That's
can't
like-
say anything. It's legal.
That's like there's this one celebrity, I forgot who it was. You know who Taylor Swift is, right? She dated
You
some.
think he would still be doing the same thing with little girls?
She dated some.
I don't know. I
17-year-old.
don't think so.
Taylor Swift dated a 17-year-old and that got brushed under the rug when she was like 21.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know, like I said, it happens.
Yeah, he would still be doing the same thing. If you release it takes a lot for a pedophile to be rehabilitated and to actually change.
Right.
Especially because I know for a fact that sometimes the system is
I think him being in jail actually would teach him a lesson. I don't know.
right. That's
I
why he
think
didn't
would-
stop.
I mean, he didn't learn the first time because he got away with it.
That's the thing.
So
And
that's
then-
why he decided to keep doing it.
But
But now that he got caught and got fucked up in the game, I don't think he would come back out and do the same stupid shit. Honestly, I don't think so.
at least not with other people around noticing and seeing.
Yeah, he'll do it with, like I said, with older girls.
But
19, 20. He ain't going below that no more. He ain't trying to go back to jail.
but
I honestly think he would learn his lesson.
But my point is, if you let him out at the time he's like in prison now, he's more likely to again get away with more things because he's gonna be like, oh well, they let me out anyways. I'll do time and then I'll just go back to doing it. That's how most pedophiles act. And with how they treat pedophiles when they actually like leave the prison system, some of them get like 8 months or stuff like that. You have to register.
Yeah, he has to register and he's gonna have to be on 5-year probation.
I know some places, some districts will literally put predators in areas where there are schools and stuff like that. They will literally have them near schools.
Yeah, they have him around here.
Right.
They have him around here. The only thing is you get an alert if you're assigned to the my phone's about to die. If you're assigned to
Let me get your charger.
the neighborhood app,
Yeah, this is not.
then you'll get alerts of any pedophile that moves into your neighborhood.
But
Because I
that's-
always get alerts.
Well, that's the thing. If they register, though, if they don't register, that's illegal.
Yeah, then they don't register. That's a problem.
Yeah, jail does not
But-
change people. I know it
No.
don't change people. There are people that are in there that
Sometimes it does. We can't say that jail doesn't change people because that's not true either.
Sometimes. But
That's
I feel
not
like
true either.
I feel like sometimes.
Let's not lie about that.
I feel like sometimes though it's mainly for minor offenses versus murder and
Oh yeah,
kidnapping
certain things.
and pedophilia.
Yeah.
That's the
certain-
difference. People can
yeah.
change in prison, but that's for like minor offenses versus like major offenses. Some of these people who have major offenses do not change at all because they
No.
love what they're doing.
Right,
That's
and
the
they
thing.
can't get it out their mind. It's just like a one-track mind.
Do you want me to get your charger?
Yes, please, baby. My
Is
phone
it
is over there, plugged
on
up in
your
the
side?
wall. So but like I said, Jesus Christ, Ziva. Jail does not. His mind is messed up. Yeah, it might. You never know. Yeah, baby, it's over here. You never know. You never know, man. You can't always. Because some people do. Some people do. It's not a big percentage,
I have a.
but people do change. People can change.
They can. Doesn't change their past.
You just never know.
This is also coming from someone who literally took classes on forensic psychology and stuff like that and criminology.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of documentaries. I've seen a lot of things. I've read up on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, I used to grow up watching CSI and stuff like that with my mom. So I've been interested in a lot of stuff like that. And
Yeah,
so that's-
she's going to be a CSI expert.
I either wanna be a psychologist or I wanna be a crime scene investigator, like actually on the field, like investigating crimes, taking
Right.
photos and stuff like that.
Right.
But um, this is something I've been into for a long time, so it's like when I see people who are like, well, I don't condone it, but it just kind of like,
We gotta side eye you at the end of the day.
yeah, it's because I can understand and I can have sympathy because that's your family. That's like
Right.
with
That's why I feel bad for Levi, because that's his make believe family. That's his make believe family from 2001, right, Levi?
that's like with Nicki Minaj and her husband and then her brother, and she literally sent death threats and stuff like that to her, I think it was her brother's
Her
victim.
cousin or something, a member of one of them.
No, it was her husband. It was her husband. She started saying like she was trying to send her like 20K talking about drop it and all this other stuff, and yeah.
Keep talking.
I'm looking at you because you look crazy.
You see what I'm doing, right?
Yes, and you look crazy.
You see all of that, right?
Yes, you look crazy.
You see all of it?
Yes. Please tell me you're not gonna use that.
I always do.
Ay, ay, ay.
What? Girl.
You don't know how long that's been sitting there? Mom.
Maybe a month.
You're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I heard they control them when they do their food and then they go back the same. You guys
Who said what? Levi said, Diva, I can tell that your daughter is very intelligent. You did a very good job raising her. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. She does have my intelligence and more. Mertice! Hi, baby!
Ew.
Oh, it didn't go in right.
No, it is charging. It's just when it charges and it goes up. It's
No, because my thing be funny.
No.
I'm telling you, my thing's been acting funny.
It does that to me too, but as it charges, it still gives you a warning because it's going up to the percentage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix this
That's
this
what I'm
way
saying.
so it's not so bent. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hi. But
Matisse. Hi, baby. Long time no see, mama. How you doing, babe?
oh my god, I'm sweating. Hold on, let me.
Okay, you'll be back. Got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hair up.
Okay, baby. So, like I said, our baby girl, Reshona Landfair, and our baby girl, Aaliyah, I think both experienced the same kind of love from Rkelly, to the point where he did not disrespect them. When it comes to the other girls, see kind of like how he did a little bit with Joy and Azriel.
Oh,
You know, like I think those two girls, he was in love with one or the other. You know what I mean? But he didn't have too much faith in them because their parents weren't behind him. If your parents are not behind him,
it's gonna be difficult. Way more difficult.
he's not feeling you like that.
It's easier when your parents don't really know or don't have the
It's
knowledge.
easier to love the child when the parents go on ahead, be free.
Yep. And parents like that, they need to be locked up too. Because what the fuck?
Yes, that is my daughter, baby. She's
Hi.
19. She'll be 19 next month.
Yeah, hi.
They'll be 19. I think he loved Aaliyah and Reshona. These are the only two girls I honestly think he loved more than even his own wife, yo.
Ugh.
Okay?
I can't. Like, that'd be the weirdest thing too. Like, I can't, bro.
Like he loves them even more than his own wife. I'm telling you,
Okay.
even after she had 3 kids.
I
And
feel like
even though he still feels like nobody could disrespect his wife but himself. You know what I mean?
there are some pedophiles, strangely enough, weirdly enough, who do end up loving their victims.
Yes.
And I won't
Yes.
say that he never did, Because there are, yeah, he had like favorites, quote
He
unquote.
had his favorites. He had his favorites.
But I can see why you think that, because a lot of the time it's just abuse from the adult. It is abuse. Let me change my wording on that. But sometimes they will have favorites because they genuinely do, quote unquote, love these children, and it's such a weird thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the time it does come from wanting to get sexual gratification. So yeah,
Right.
I can understand why you say that, but there are cases of weirdos doing that. Like
That's like the two girls, they say they love him, you know,
yeah,
they respect him. The parents were groomed too, and so
okay.
it was easy for
Wait,
him
wait.
to hide his crime.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. Wait. I don't think the grooming counts towards the parents. At that point, you're old enough to be making your own decisions. You're grown enough to know what you're doing. Do not use grooming on the parents. Don't say that.
No, I didn't say about the parents grooming the kid.
No, I'm saying you're saying Rkelly in a way grooms the parents too. Don't say that.
Yes, he did, because he did with the parents too, because
that's not.
He
okay.
offered the parents money to take care of them. He's like, listen, stop working. Do this.
Okay, but
get a shop over here. I'll help you pay bills.
That's not.
And take care of you while I hump on your daughter and you don't put me in jail. Yes, that's what happened. She explained that in the book.
That's not.
That's grooming the parents. Manipulating the parents to be able to have her.
It's manipulation, not grooming.
Well, you know.
Grooming is usually with the intent to get something.
Right, his daughter. Their daughter is the attempt to get something. You give me this, I'll give you that. He was extorting. You give me your daughter so I can hide her and have sex with her whenever I want.
But my point
because I love her.
But my point is, they're grown adults. At the end of the day, they are parents, and they should have known better, and they should have said no. But that's not what they did.
That's my thing. Instead, they decided to rely on his money.
That's exactly what it is. It's for the money. They were getting money out of it.
That's it.
It's not that they had to think twice about it. If someone goes up to you and they're like...
They were like, oh, he's all we have to eat. So we have to do this for him because we need to survive too. So, because if he gets locked up, then what happens?
So say someone goes up to you and they're like...
Now we don't eat.
I'll go like, I'll give you $40K if I could take your
parents are horrible too.
If I could take your kid for a day. Would you do that?
No.
Sorry. Right.
We're not doing that.
But you have the mental capacity to say, ew, no.
Right, fuck you. Get the fuck away from my kid.
And they're parents. They're adults at the end of the day.
Right. That's the thing that bothers me is that
no.
They said they loved Rkelly, and besides the fact that they didn't want their daughter to commit suicide because she threatened suicide.
Yeah, a lot of pedophiles do that. They'll actually, a lot of them will put the victims against each other as well. So they're kind of fighting for his attention.
Yeah.
And that
he did that a lot too with the girls.
That caused lots of bullying, especially infighting between the girls when all of them are victims. And that's why a lot of them end up hating each other and stuff like that. And they blame the victims for coming out if they do come out.
Yep. That's exactly what happened between Joy and Azriel. Yep. Exactly what the fuck happened.
Right. They get mad. They say, oh, why would you do that?
Right. Oh, you're so mean, Zell. You know you shouldn't be having no niggas up in this crib. You know you broke the rules, girl.
Yep, that's exactly what happens.
So now you gotta get beat up.
Yeah, they'll actually like fight.
They actually had two girls come to the crib. Like it was a whole setup. Yep.
They jump people.
And
do you think she would have written this book if he was not in jail?
Say that again. What?
I don't think a lot of victims, they don't.
Do you think she would have written this book if he was not in jail?
A lot of people don't.
No, she would not have written this book if he was in jail. Yeah. No.
Because the thing is, once you finally get free from that,
if that's the case, she would have been did that shit long time ago.
If that was the case, if you felt like safe enough, even when he was there, I feel like she would have. But now knowing he's locked up, I feel like that gives her peace of mind.
They gave her power and peace of mind.
Yeah, it gives her safety, knowledge that she's not going to be hurt again.
Yeah.
So to actually talk about the business of everything that hurt her, that's more her, really feeling safe and comfortable enough to tell her story.
Right.
A lot of the time, victims get shut up by their abusers, and it can still happen while they're in prison. It does happen.
Listen, she was still giving money on his books.
Yep.
When he first got locked up.
Yep. Especially if they have an attachment. And
that's what happened. She actually did that.
The parents didn't really know for sure until the tapes.
Yeah, they didn't know what was going on until the tapes came out. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't know what was going on until the tapes came out.
Like, some of these people be evil. I can't. Like, they're evil. That's like, what's his name?
Who?
Diddy?
Who? Diddy?
Yeah, and how he
Puff Daddy.
He dragged the woman out in the hallway, and it was recorded.
Cassie, yes.
Yeah, Cassie. He dragged her out into the hallway back to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
It was recorded, and they didn't do shit about that.
No, because the hotel, he paid the hotel manager to keep it quiet and give him a copy of the videotape.
Right. It's so weird.
And come to find out that the guy took a video from his phone from the fucking camera on what was going on.
Oh my god.
That's how the cops got the copy.
That's crazy.
That came out in court. Yeah.
Yeah, and threatening. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? And suicide, yeah, threatening suicide. A lot of people tend to do that.
Yeah, she was threatening suicide. She sure was. Yeah. She sure was. Poor baby. Poor baby. She was a little girl. And and like she said, she was being groomed by him, and her body was, like when he said, when she spoke about this in her book, she made me think about what he said in his interview. She sounded the same. Remember when he did that interview and he said, watching those things, watching my relatives or whoever have sex in front of me, and also him being molested woke up things inside of him that made him feel a certain kind of way to be attracted to the sexual feelings at the point in his life. So now she said pretty much the same thing because of the fact that her auntie was speaking to her as she was on her level about certain things. So that sparked her curiosity, as she said, as well as what she was going through with Rkelly, and as well as her trying to bring other girls involved with Rkelly. And her sleeping with other girls with Rkelly. That sparked things inside her. You just deleted that?
No, I clicked it to see it.
Oh, show. Hold on.
Yeah, because some things get flagged, that's why.
Press show. Okay, there you go.
I can't believe people are defending. Yeah. I feel like a lot of victims who are molested at a young age do end up turning into
prostitutes, strippers. I was a stripper. I was a stripper. Why? Because I felt comfortable after a while with my body. I had no respect for my body, but I didn't realize that it wasn't having respect for my body. You understand? I didn't learn that. I didn't learn that at that time. I didn't know that at that time. I thought I was feeling good about my body and being confident and this and that and sex sells. That's what I thought. You understand? It does a lot to you. Being a victim does a lot to you, okay? I'm here to tell you. Wait, hold on a second.
No, I'm making fun of you stuttering.
Oh. You know me, I'm a stutter mother. I'm cleaning out my drawer here, guys. If you hear a bunch of mess going on, that's what's happening in the background.
Drawers do, and that's what that is.
I was cleaning out my drawer. So yeah,
Oh Lord.
so we have crazy people who are still like, this is all a lie. The girl was paid to tell lies. She was paid to tell lies. I can't with these people. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you saying she was paid to tell lies? The girl is telling her truth now. She lied then. She's telling the truth now. Why can't people believe that? Oh, because you lied once before, so you're always going to be a liar? Oh,
Right,
come
that's
on.
crazy.
Come on.
Especially, I know why these people lie. It's because usually either one, they want to protect their abuser, and someone else reported it, or it's the fact that the justice system doesn't take sexual assault survivors and abuse survivors seriously half the time.
No, they don't.
They literally neglect them. They throw out cases.
Look what's going on with the Jeffrey Epstein file.
Right, they're berating the victims. They're saying,
I'm sorry, but these victims need to just say, fuck it, go to Congress, and let them know everybody they've had sex with. I don't care about the suing. They need to protect these women. That's what they need to do.
But the thing is, they won't. They would need.
I need a cigarette.
They would need government protection.
They need protection.
But with the people who are in the government, that is not going to happen. And in the past, they've killed victims. It's sad.
I know. That's why. I know. That's why now. That's why now the victims are like, we want to come out, but we're scared because, you know, it's the government. A lot of these people are higher ups.
What? Whoa.
Who's that?
Whoa. Look.
Who's that?
They were?
I can't see.
Martise.
Diva, remember we heard that some of the female parents were also sleeping with Rkelly? We didn't believe it because we were seriously defending the parents. Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Now, like I said, for me, positively, we know that Aaliyah's mother, and who's the other one? Because in the book, Reshona did not say anything about her mother sleeping with Rkelly. She did not talk about that at all. She only talked about her aunt.
That's weird. That's weird.
But in court, they made it look like she said that. I don't know. And I think it was because of the...
Ew, you spit all over
I'm
me.
sorry, the defense team. I just had my mouth on wet. God bless you, baby.
Thank you. That's so weird.
But like I was saying, these babies are...
Ever.
They're all traumatized. All these girls who went through this abuse with Rkelly are traumatized. You know, the younger girl self of Reshona Landfair is realizing she was abused. She didn't think she was abused.
A lot of victims
She
don't
just
think that
really
way.
thought she was in love and he was in love with her. That's how they played it the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was going to read her book, but then I said I don't want to discredit her. I'd rather just promote her book. Go buy her book. That's it. Buy her book. You really want to hear her story? Buy her book.
Why does Brandon keep saying no?
Who?
Brandon. He keeps saying no, whoever that is.
Who's Brandon Mitchell? I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is too. So.
Well, Brandon, I guess you're not a supporter of victims, huh? That's why you won't buy the book? Yep, that's what we know.
I could get not buying it if you're going through it right now financially. But eventually do it, please. She's not like holding a gun to your head and be like, buy the
It's
book.
not even that expensive. What did I spend? $30 with shipping?
That's actually not bad for a book. Especially if you got like a hardcover, I think.
Yeah, I got a hardcover.
Yeah, if you got a hardcover, those are expensive.
Right. But I'm pretty sure the audio is cheaper. Is this yours? Or is this mine? Okay, yeah, because mine is over there.
I took water out because my throat was hurting. Let me not steal your spot. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Baba. I'm smoking, that's why. You feeling it? You got up too quick? You got up too quick?
Lord have mercy.
She did, Kathy. She did. She let us know.
Okay, bye, guys.
That at the where did you get the book? I have Mertice in my community. Yeah, my community wall. In one of my posts, my most recent post, I promoted the link to her book. Go scroll through my community, Mama, and you'll find it. Anybody who wants to buy the book, you can scroll through my community wall. I think I promoted it like the end of January or something like that. Look, you can even get it on Amazon. It's on Amazon now. It wasn't on Amazon when I pre-ordered it though. It came from another company. All right, Mama. Well, look, you could look, Mertice, Kathy said you could get it on Amazon. So, but you know, she did a good job describing who was there, who wasn't there. You know, she spoke about the engineer. What's his name? Ian, and she spoke about those engineers. See, so they weren't lying. They weren't lying when they did that interview. I think it was with Vlad or who, I forgot who did the interview with the engineers. The BBC people, I think it was. Remember when they said, oh, they brought a cake out to the girl who was in the garage for her 21st birthday? Remember that? She described that incident in her book. She talked about that day in her fucking book. She told her own story. She even told the story about the bus driver, Terrence, the bus driver, Terrence Allen. Yeah, he said she was on the bus while he was on tour and even at court. He said it. Did he lie? No, he did not. She said, yes, I was on that bus. Yes, that was me. Yeah, like, see, that's the thing, because the parents were so much more for their daughter than they were Rkelly. They were protecting her and they were protecting him because he loved her, according to him. And he wanted to protect her. That's what he convinced the parents, that he was protecting her from the world. So she won't be picked on. She won't be abused. Because, oh, that's the girl from the pee-pee tape. So she understands why her parents did that. Because of her. Because she told them, no, don't do this to me. If you do this, you're going to do it to me, not him. Me. She said, I will kill myself. Right. Right. When he was even on Larry's channel. Yes, he was, Matisse. Look, thank you for the link, Queen Brill. What's up, Queen? How you doing, Mama? What did you think about the book, Queen? I know you read that shit. Or heard it. One or the other. My dad, I don't know what my dad would do, honestly, because my dad was not a good guy. My dad was a drug addict. He was a fucking thief. He was a kidnapper. He was a woman abuser. Yeah, my dad was not good. So I don't know what my dad would have done. I don't know. He probably would have sold me for some drugs, money. Who knows what the fuck? Okay? One never knows. Yes, she did, Kathy. She did, Kathy. You are absolutely correct. Because that's exactly how she explained it in the book. She wanted somebody to rescue her. She just didn't know how. She knew that her aunt was looking out for her, but he made it seem to her like she was on a betrayal, a revenge tour, and she was trying to get revenge, and she was jealous of their relationship. That's how Rkelly made it seem to her. And she fell for the okey fucking dokey because she was like 14. There you go, Matisse. That's another thing. They didn't know there was other little girls running around the house. They were starstruck. And they thought their daughter was number one. You're right. At least the dad did. Yeah, that would be nice if she did a little documentary. You know, if she sat back and really thought about everything that she went through. All of them, Jade. Every last one of them, mommy. Every last one of them. The mom, listen, the mothers were just so starstruck that they couldn't see beyond the stars, okay? That's what I think about the mothers. Hey, Flawless Beauty, what's up, mamita? Yeah, the engineer too. He did the Surviving Rkelly too. He also did the BBC, where the guy was talking about how he would get inspiration from music and had the girls lined up on a wall in G-strings with heels, and he was singing "Feeling on My Booty" and all of that. Yeah, that was from the BBC documentary. Mm-hmm. Girl, it was a lot of shit that went on. Okay. And you know, she really did want someone to rescue her, just like Azriel. She was upset, like she said in that one documentary. Where were you? Where were you? She said that. Plain and simple. Where the fuck were you? Like she was expecting for her father to break down the door and rescue her. Not this back and forth shit over the phone. I'm telling you, these girls wanted to be rescued. They wanted their parents to rescue them. The only one that got rescued was Aaliyah. And that was because her uncle. You know what I mean? And another thing. The aunt did not give the tape to Jim. Stop it with the lies. Okay? The tape was in his mailbox. He took it out the mailbox. In the mailbox, inside, there was a letter and there was a videotape. And in the letter, it stated who the aunt was of the girl. fucking lies. You didn't read Soulless. You didn't listen to Soulless. You didn't listen to anything. You're just like Trump fucking supporters. Nothing to see here. Nothing. Durr. 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 Like, get the fuck out of here. All of you fucking Trump supporter, Rkelly supporters, Diddy supporters, yous are all fucking sick in the head. Get it through your fucking head. Yous are all sick in the fucking head. Stop it. Just because he's a fucking celebrity doesn't mean shit. He's a human being like everybody else. Why can't they be dirty motherfuckers like every other fucking pervert that's out here in the world? Just because they sing, make movies, write books, fucking act, whatever the fuck, because they're celebrities? Get the fuck out of here. Who gives a fuck? Celebrity, government, whatever the fuck you want to be. Financiers, socialites, and all this other bullshit. Princes and kings and queens. Who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, they're all fucking human. And they have a right to be dirty if that's what they want to do. But you know what? There's consequences. It's not for thee and if for me and all that other bullshit. Or we and thee, or however you fucking say that shit. Fuck that. Okay, look. The tapes were stolen. All right, let's get this shit straight. I read Demetrius Smith's book. Okay? There was a guy, I forgot his fucking name. He fucking stole a whole bag of tapes from Rkelly. He didn't just steal one or two, he stole the whole fucking bag. And he distributed it. And he told Demetrius Smith, I'm going to make copies of this shit and distribute it. He told them, no, man, don't do that, bro. Nigga was like, it's done. One and done. That nigga trying to play me, fuck him. You remember that, Jade? Oh, thank you. It's in my files. You want to go look at my videos, go find it somewhere. It was not Sparkle. It was not Sparkle. It was that fucking guy. I forgot his fucking name. Ghost or some shit. Damn, what was his name? Oh, man. And then there was the tapes that went out with Keith Murrell and Charles Freeman. And that was because of Lisa Van Allen. But those weren't the tapes that were being sold. The tapes that were being sold were with Reshona, Landfair, and other girls. There was even a Puerto Rican girl in there with her booty all in the camera. And he's like, oh, and he's telling her, oh, rub and go down and do this and shake your ass. And he's touching her booty, and then he started rubbing baby oil on it. Y'all didn't see that tape? Yeah, well, I did. He even had a girl in the office or a studio in a chair, and she had long hair with braids. Yup, it was all on one video. All those little clips and pieces. Yup. Yes, the guy was mad at Rkelly because he didn't want to do something with Rkelly. Produce him, listen to his demo, or some shit happened. And he decided when he saw him again, he took those tapes. He knew what was in that bag. And he took that shit. And he said, I got a whole closet full of videotapes. You want a copy? He said that to Demetrius. No. Listen. They can't blame Sparkle for what happened to the little girl. Okay? Yes, the little girl was brought there. That, I think she did a wrong thing, because if she remembers, Sparkle was there after the fact that he married Aaliyah. So Sparkle should have known better. She should have known better than to bring the little girl around. Period. There is where I think Sparkle's fault was. There. Right there. That's the only thing that I'm going to blame Sparkle for. Because you knew he was a predator and you still brought your little baby niece around him. Thinking because she was 12, he wasn't going to do nothing. Because she wasn't 15 like Aaliyah. No. You should have just thought, no. I can't bring my baby around this man. I can't trust him. The same thing with the Clarys. No. I cannot let my daughter around this man. Why? Because of what he did with Aaliyah. But then again, they probably said, oh, okay, well, he married her, but that must have meant he loved her. They didn't know that he was actually physically abusing these girls. They didn't know, the Clarys didn't know that these girls were being sexually abused. They didn't know what was going on with Rkelly. They just thought, okay, well, Rkelly fell in love with that one, got married, the parents separated it. Okay, well, you know what, our daughter's 17, she'll be 18, it's okay. They didn't know that Rkelly was abusing these girls. So you can't blame anybody but Rkelly. Because Rkelly is the only one who did what he did to these girls at the end of the day. The parents didn't stand there and say, well, you know what? You need to go and take my daughter and have a threesome with my daughter with 2 other girls. And you're going to sit there and you're going to direct them and you're going to watch them and you're going to do all of that. And then if they don't listen to you, you got to give them a spanking, okay? Because that's what you got to do. Because I said so, because I'm the parent. And that's what I want you to do to my daughter. You know, like, how fucking stupid are these people, bro? No, I have not been following that case. Right. Who tried to blackmail him? The father? I don't believe none of that shit. That's just some shit that Rkelly made up. Because she knew she was 17. And she wasn't going to be able to get in. That's it. Point blank period. She wanted her daughter to expand her career. At the end of the day, it was about their daughter expanding her career. Getting in good graces with somebody who was a big celebrity. They saw stars and dollar signs for their daughter and for their lives. It wasn't just about their daughter, it was about them too. And coming up in the world behind their child. Yes, I believe that. They used their daughter for that. That's where they went wrong. They try to make their daughter come up with a star and just put aside to what he was. That he was a predator at the end of the day. Because it was only that one girl that people knew about. Nobody really knew too much about the other girls like that. Except for in Chicago. Because it wasn't really spread widely like that. About Tiffany and those other girls. Lisa Van Allen, none of those girls. None of them. The set, none of them. That all came out later. As the documentary was coming out. Nobody knew about all these other girls. We just knew about Aaliyah. Right, Sparkle didn't see anything wrong. You're right. She didn't see nothing wrong. The parents were there, but the parents weren't really there. Because a lot of people said that the parents were not really there. The one that was really there with the little girl was Demetrius. Demetrius was the one who was the guardian watching the little girl. He failed the little girl. The parents failed the little girl because they trusted the man. They trusted Dimitri to watch their daughter. And he didn't do a good job. That's why he feels guilty about what happened to that little girl. Yeah. Remember his book? I read his book. There's a lot of puzzles to these pieces, and not everybody knows these pieces because the people on the other side don't want to hear it. But if they sat there and listened to everything, then maybe they would really wake up. But they're just like Trump supporters. Dumb, uneducated, poorly educated. Because they don't want to get into the real facts. They just want to go with the lie that the person is telling them to say. That's it. Yeah, her brother was there too, but her brother wasn't there like that either. Because if he was, Rkelly wouldn't have been able to eat her. Let's think about that. And if they were, he snuck her out. He moved her. He said, come over here real quick. Let me show you something in this room. And disappear with her, and everybody be like, yo, where they at? Oh, where did she go? Oh, I don't know. I thought she went to the bathroom. Oh, maybe she's in the bathroom. Okay. Where's Rkelly? Oh, I think he went to go answer a phone call or something. And then they're like, everybody's like, okay. And here it is. They're sneaking around in some room doing inappropriate things. He's over there abusing the little girls. I don't know what's going on with my charger today, but it's not charging right. Sometimes this should be getting dirty and shit. My phone's about to die. That was a lie. That I don't know. I think that story was a lie. I think that story was made up. I don't know. When it comes to the Clarys, they lie too much. They lie too much. So you can't even you can't even say what's the truth, what's not the truth. Like, you know, even the little girl was protecting her parents, and the little girl was even protecting her man, you know. That's what I want. I want Azriel to write a book. I want Azriel to tell her story. I want her to tell her story. And I want her to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the fucking truth. That's what I want. She deserves to heal too. And she deserves to tell the truth to the people. You know? I do too. Hey, Wings, what's up, chula? Hi, mama. Happy birthday. When your birthday comes, if I don't see you, happy birthday. Happy early birthday, mama. So, what did you think, Wings, about the book? Did you hear it? Did you read it? Did you buy the book? You know, that poor little girl. I just say those poor girls. At the end of the day, this is all Rkelly's fault. Thank you, mama. I can't believe I'm going to be 50. You better go buy the book, girl. Buy the book. Share the love. Support our mama. Okay, you bought the book on Amazon. I bought the book on, I forgot the name of the place, but it's on my community. I posted it. But if you can find the book on Amazon, Who's Watching Shorty by Reshona Landfair. And that's her book. That's her name. Reshona. Reshona. Landfair. Landfair. That's who she is. Remember that, okay? She's not the PP girl. She's not the girl on the tape. She's Reshona Landfair, okay? Claim her motherfucking name, okay? She is the girl on the tape. Now we all know she has confirmed it. She confirmed it in trial. That's why he's in there for 20 years. Part of her conviction, okay? That's part of hers. That's part of her justice. He gets 20 years in jail. 19 years concurrent and 1 consecutive. Ain't he lucky? For her alone, I think he should have gotten 30 years. Just for her alone, goddammit. At the end of the day, that's what I think. That's right. That's right, Wings. You damn right. That's what drives us. Yes. Yes. That's why I said she was talking to her niece like she was on her level. You know what I mean? Like, she's growing up. Well, if you're going to, let me let you know about these things. This is what happens in a relationship. Like I said, I wouldn't have took it there like that with my niece because that's not happening. Like I said, I wouldn't be conversating like that with my niece. But she felt that comfortable enough to speak with her niece like that. I mean, people do what they do and don't realize what they do might be a wrong thing, you know? She didn't think that Rkelly would actually try to get with this little girl. But he found her very attractive. And to me, at the end of the day, he's a predator. Why are you finding a 12-year-old girl attractive and you're in your 30s? You're in your 30s. You're like 31. You're like 30 years old, trying to get with a 12-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Like, that is nasty. That's a predator, bro. So at the end of the day, let's just stop the bullshit and the shenanigans out here on these streets with all these fucking pendejos and pendejas sticking up for Rkelly, talking about, oh, he's the greatest. No, they all lied on him. No, that wasn't a little girl on the tape. You're lying. You're blind. That wasn't no Reshona. That was Lisa Van Allen. That was Lisa and Damien Pryor. No. That was Prada. That was Adelina. You fucking people stupid. You fucking people get me sick. Stop fucking lying on these girls. You were not there, including you, Sharon. You too, the fucking nutritionist. Get the fuck out of here. You didn't even read the book. Get out of here, please. All you people are disgusting. You're sitting there telling the girls stories like you were there. And none of you motherfuckers were there. You don't believe their stories because you don't believe your hero. Because he's the greatest. Because he's God's child. We're all God's children. What the fuck? What are you talking about? She was so tiny. She was tiny. Did you see her little face at the age of 12? And R. Kelly's like, ooh, you're so cute. Oh my God, what's your bra size? Oh, what color bra do you have on today? Oh, what color panties you have on today? Oh, I want you to touch yourself. Play with your nipples. Oh, go down there to your clit. Yeah, that thing that's in the middle. Yeah, rub it around. Rub it, rub it. Yes, do you feel that? Yeah, that's going to be me one day touching you. Just imagine. Close your eyes and picture me licking on your nipples. These are the kind of conversations he's having as a 30-year-old man with a 12-year-old little girl, grooming her. But he's not disgusting. He shouldn't be in jail. Get the fuck out of here. You people are all fucking crazy and sick in the fucking head. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously. Seriously. You people are sick, delusional, mental, psychotic sycophants. Your man was a dog from day one, okay? He always was and always will be a fucking dog. Let him sit and rot where he is. That's why his cases are going nowhere. His appeals are going nowhere. He's going to remain in jail for the remainder of the next 20 years. Or what did he do already? 6 years? He's got 30 years altogether, basically. So, yeah, he's never getting anywhere. Right, R. Kelly is supposedly 6 feet tall or something like that. And she was like, that's why he liked her. Because he could pick her up and flip her and throw her and do all these things. Like she said. She said she was her, she was his, what? Like, she said he used to flop her around in bed. Like she was fucking tossed around. Like nothing. Right. Not moving anywhere. Not breathing. You know, he put himself in solitary. Now he has to try to get himself out of solitary. Because that was the stupidest thing for you to do, to pretend like some Aryan brother nation people, some dudes, some white boys was coming to kill you. Like, get the fuck out of here. Listen, Kelly, you 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 were not that special. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck. You just gonna sit in there and rot, and they're just gonna use you. That's it. You just got tired of them using you. You didn't know what else to do because you're running out of money. You can't keep paying all of them for protection. You can't keep paying them for doing you favors. You're running out of money. What are you doing with Joy? Let her go home. Let her get a job. Let her live her life. Get the fuck far away from you. You're never getting out. She's never gonna be your wife. You know, it's just. So, my opinion of this book was, this was a great book. She described what happened to her, who she felt was there, who she felt wasn't there, who should have been there, who shouldn't have been there, why she was there, why she wanted to be there, and what happened to her emotionally and mentally while she was there. She didn't speak about beatings and stuff like that. She did speak about how he would spank her, just like all the other girls got spanked. And if she had a black eye or something like that, they would cover it. She said that it got to a point where she started doing things to make R. Kelly not want her anymore because she was so tired. She was tired of being a slave. So, guys, I think you need to get the book. It was very deep, emotional, gravitating, and very descriptive of what she felt that she was going through emotionally and mentally. She didn't really speak too much upon the physical. And I'm talking sexually and violently. She didn't speak too much upon that. She spoke more about the people around her and the people who should have been protecting her weren't protecting her. And the people who were protecting him should have been protecting her. Basically, who's watching Shorty? And she did a great job. So, guys, I'm about to end this live. Please make sure everybody hits that like button. All right. Share the live. Let everybody know what I think. And to all you pedophile lovers out there, you predator lovers, you apologists, you really need to take your head out of the sand and look around you. Look around you. Look around the world and what's going on. And then think about your support and who you support and why you support. And just stop supporting them. Because at the end of the day, these people are monsters. And they all belong where they need to belong, in jail. So, that's all I got to say about that. So, guys, one love.